Hey, Swendeman,
Yes, sir.
we're a day late.
For what?
The Drill podcast, usually we do it on Mondays. It's a Tuesday. We'll explain a little bit later why we are 24 hours late with this. But I did want to get to something that has me pretty riled up. This was in The Athletic the other day, and the headline was Donald Trump considering executive order on paying college athletes after speaking with Nick Saban. Now, we've been talking about NIL money a lot over
Right.
the past month or so. And apparently, former Alabama coach Nick Saban, and if he's not the greatest college coach of all time, he's on a very short list. Well, he and former college Auburn football coach Tommy Tuberville, now a senator, apparently have both gotten the ear of President Trump. And they feel that college football is in danger if we don't level the playing field. The playing field for who? Alabama? Auburn? Who leveled the playing field when Fordham was stupid enough a few years ago? And this is before the NIL stuff, but stupid enough to take on Nebraska. What were they thinking? That game was over right after the initial kickoff. But in all seriousness, this thing has me really riled up because, listen, this whole NIL thing, again, we've been talking about this for a while. Toothpaste is out of the tube, to use a very
Right.
overused cliche. It's not going anywhere. And for Nick Saban and Tommy Tuberville to be concerned about a level playing field in college football and approach the president, like, I don't want to get overly political here, but we have a national debt that's approaching $37 trillion dollars. And if you are even remotely following what's going on in the news these days, you know, with the Middle East and everything else that's happening in the world, really? We want the president to worry about NIL money and a level playing field for Alabama? Give me a big bleeping break, Nick Saban and Tommy Tuberville. What are we doing? What are we thinking about?
Okay. Rest the blood pressure. We don't want to have to send you to the doctor. We need you for future episodes. Break,
Chris,
take
this
a
is
breath.
insane.
I
It's
I get that.
insane.
I get that, Jim. And to your point, I read something this week that I thought was really interesting from Fox Sports Jay Glazer, who's very in touch with the NFL teams. He spoke with a lot of front offices during the NFL draft time, and he said one of the new, like, I guess, traits that teams are using to, like, basically, grade players is the simple question: do they love football? Do they want to play football? Because now a lot of front offices seeing that they're getting NIL money, the better players, 4, 5, 6, $7 million, they don't feel by the time they get to the NFL that they have to work as hard because they're already making money. Why do we have to put in all the effort for OTAs and rookie mini camps and all that stuff? And why do we have to show out at the combine? We're already showing what we could do. You have the tape of us. Use that. And this attitude is frightening. And you don't have to look much further than the almighty dollar.
I mean, I understand what Jay's talking about, but I don't know if I agree with him, Chris, because, if I'm making some NIL money, if I'm at that level where I'm really making some serious coin, I'm going to be making a lot more serious coin in the NFL or whatever college sport that we happen to, we're
Right.
talking about football at the moment. If money is the driving factor for some of these kids, and I understand why it would be, I get it. We all want to make more
Right.
money. That's part of
But
the American dream. I get it. But if that's it, I don't know that that's as much of a deterrent as Jay and his sources might want us to think.
right. I mean, there are those guys that, work really hard between their final college season and the combine that send their stock shooting up. I mean, we see it every year. There are names that you and I never heard of. They're all of a sudden right around the draft time. Everybody, all the GMs are whispering, "Oh, you see this guy, you see this," because they're raising their draft stock. Are there less of those guys now? Maybe that's what Jay is alluding to. I think I think there is something to it, but I could also see your point as well.
Yeah, and again, going back to how we started, I really don't care about a level playing field in college football. Level for whom? I mean, really, come
Yeah,
on. Nick
the
Saban,
biggest
really?
schools,
I'm
right?
worried about Alabama.
No,
Really? I've got much bigger things to worry about. And especially, I think my biggest fear is the president actually, release an executive order on this. Like,
right.
really, really, Mr. Trump, please, you've got bigger things to worry about than how Alabama or Auburn does. I mean, you want to
Mr.
worry about
President,
it, help Fordham out. And in fact, Trump went to Fordham. So let's go. Come on.
there you go. Help your alma mater out, Mr. President.
Oh, my goodness. God. And again, what was that final score? 52-7 when Fordham
Yes.
played Nebraska. What an embarrassment. What an embarrassment that was. And again, before the
Yeah, that
whole
wasn't their
NIL
best
thing,
idea.
no, it wasn't. You know why they did it? Hey, we'll
Right.
get national exposure. Yeah. And they did it for money. Yeah. I forget the figure that Fordham Athletics got
I'm
for that whole
sure they
thing.
got paid fairly well for that.
I would hope so for the beating that they took.
Yes.
So, listen, before we get to why you are decked out in your Celtic green, where were you last night? This is the real reason why we are a day late. Where were you?
Yeah. Last night I got to see Gene Simmons band at the Count Basie Theater in Red Bank. If you are a Kiss fan, you need to get out to the show. Not because it's just, Gene the War Machine, but he is having fun up there. He's got his band, Jersey guy Brian Tichy on drums, and it's just a fun show. He brings people out of the crowd. It's very unkiss like. It's very laid back. He talks to the crowd a lot. He does his shtick. He jokes around. But there are covers. I don't want to give the farm away, but I did send you a clip
Oh,
that I thought
it was
you would
really
enjoy.
good. It was the
I
Beatles
mean,
song "And Your Bird Can Sing," which is a very difficult song to play on the guitar.
he talked about, Gene is a huge Beatles fan. I
Mhm.
mean, that was his influence. He said the first day I watched the Beatles, I heard screaming girls in the background, what I thought was feedback, and it turned out to be screaming girls. I said, I want to do that. And so it goes. But anybody who is a Kiss fan, you enjoy Gene, get out there. It's just a fun night, and it was just a great night of music. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, Gene was not the only one, by the way, who heard the Beatles for the first time and said, "Whoa, how do I do that?
I
I want part
I
of
think a few
that."
people said that. Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
just a few.
In the meantime, while you were there, your Boston Celtics, mine too, I'm rooting for them,
Yeah.
uh, blew a 20-point lead at home in the third quarter. And Chris, it's a good thing you weren't watching it because you want to talk about blood pressure rising. That was an ugly game for the Celtics.
Well, when you shoot 15 of 60, yes, that's a 6-0. I said you did not hear that wrong. From 3-point range, you're probably not going to win many games. And I mean, they still almost did. Could you imagine the Knicks fans if they would have lost with the Celtics shooting 15 of 60 from 3-point land? Could you imagine Knicks fans would be standing on the edge of the bridge right now?
Well,
But they pulled it out. It's going to be a dogfight.
Knicks fans could also look at the number of free throws that the Knicks missed last night, which was embarrassing. I mean, really, they were horrible from the free throw line.
I'm telling you, one of the things I've noticed from watching some of the Knicks first round series with Detroit and now the first game in Boston, they have a real problem with Karl Anthony Towns and him getting into the penalty. He takes penalties back to back to back like I've never seen. Well, all of a sudden he goes from 1 to 4, and he's on the bench for half a quarter. They need him to beat Boston. And I mean, last night it was a full team effort, but Brunson cannot do what he did against Detroit, put this team on his back by himself, because Boston has just too many guys that are going to come at you and keep rolling. And I think Joe Mazzulla, this was a wake-up call for Boston, and they're going to come out hot the next game.
I do think the Celtics win the next one, but one of the things, and I know again you didn't see the game because you were at the Gene Simmons
Right.
show. I do not like the fact that the majority of the game seems to be played from beyond the 3-point line.
Right.
It is what it is. I'm the old man yelling at a cloud. The bigger problem wasn't that they missed so many shots, is that they weren't rebounding. The Knicks dominated the boards when the Celtics were missing all of these threes. That was a huge factor in the game last night. And if the Knicks can continue to do that, and even if Brunson isn't Superman, the Knicks have a real shot at this thing.
Well, you also have to remember too, and I'm not, of course I'm going to side with my Celtics, but they lost two of their biggest players to Porzingis had an illness. He was laid up, and Hauser to a rolled ankle. So that's a lot of rebounds coming, out of the game. So what do they do next game? Hopefully Porzingis is healthy. See what you have in Hauser, but they're going to have to step up.
Celtics weren't the only top seed to lose on Monday, or in the first round, first of these games, rather. The Cavaliers, the Rockets, and the Thunder also lost as well. So the Celtics are in good company in the semifinal round, being 0-1.
You know what? It's a wake-up call for them, and I think they'll answer. Last time I checked, they still have that banner from 2024 that says World Champs. So until somebody beats them, I think, again, I love Joe Mazzulla as a coach. I think it's going to be a great battle in this series with him and Thibodeau. But I think Mazzulla's going to have them ready to go for game 2 and for the rest of the series.
Quickly turning to baseball, we talked recently about Devin Williams. I thought maybe he was tipping his pitches. Mark DeRosa mentioned something about that on MLB Central. I never saw anything else about it. They move Williams, the Yankees, move him out of the closer role. He has 2 really fine games in a setup role, and you're thinking, okay, maybe he cleaned his act up. And then there was last night, like, oh my gosh.
Another game I'm glad I missed last night. Another game I'm glad I missed. Thank you, Mr. Simmons, for taking me away from that pain. But the Yankees statistically have a stat that you do not want to be proud of. They have the most losses in Major League Baseball when leading in the 8th inning or later. That's not something you want to be boastful about.
A lot of that is Williams. Courtesy.
A lot of it is Williams and Mark Leiter Jr. Both of them have been absolutely brutal. If it wasn't for Luke Weaver and Fernando Cruz, I don't know where this team would be when it goes to the bullpen. When Devin Williams comes in at this point, Yankee fans do this, Jim. What's happening? Because it's just brutal. It's just absolutely brutal right now. And the Mets, the team on the other side of the city in Queens, don't seem to have those problems.
Not yet, at least. Not yet.
No.
Despite the fact that they are down a number of starting pitchers, they have the best record in the National League, the 4th best record in baseball. And we also said we would keep an eye on Juan Soto. He's not driving in runs, but from last week to today, his batting average has gone up. His slugging percentage has gone up. His OPS has gone up. So, again, I get it. He's not driving in runs yet. I think he's only on a pace to drive in about 70, but trust me, he will be there. He's on his way up. It's a good thing they're winning, I'll say. That's all I'll say.
And you know what is a great thing that has been helping the Mets? A fast start this season, which hasn't been necessarily the case from Francisco Lindor. The guy's batting .289, 22 ribbies already, and over 800 OPS. So usually I know Lindor, Met fans have gotten on him about his slow starts. This year, he came out swinging. And I mean, he's been such a big cog for them. And they're 4th overall, in the standings.
And on that note, now that my blood pressure is calm, that's the 2-minute drill for another week. Like, subscribe, do all those things. Download this, download that. You know what to do. It's a podcast.
Exactly.
You know what to do, and we will talk to you next week. Thanks, Swendeman.
You got it, Jim.